Good morning, everyone. My name is Sharan Johnson, and I am Inform's Director of Membership and Communities. I would like to welcome you to our first Chapter Officers webinar. We hope to offer more webinars like this one in the future to provide more knowledge and resources to our community leaders. A couple of important things to note about the Zoom platform. Everyone except the speaker is on mute. If you want to ask a question live during the session, please use the chat box instead of the Q&A tool. You'll find the chat tool on a bar at the bottom of your screen. You may need to hover over the screen for the bar to appear. If we don't have enough time to answer all of the chat questions during the call, we'll send the answers by email after the call. I am pleased to introduce our speaker for today, Gino Lem, of Vice President, Chapters and Fora on the Inform's Board of Directors. Gino is also Professor and Chair of the Department of Industrial Engineering at the University of Houston. Gino?
Thank you, Sharan. Welcome, everyone. I am very happy to present to you some basic knowledge about how chapters work within Informs, as well as resources available to you to become effective chapter officer. I will walk through the presentation, and then we'll have some time at the end of a Q&A, for Q&A. Let's get started with some basic knowledge, starting with the chapter officers and bylaws. Chapter officers are responsible for the management of their chapter. They are charged with ensuring that the chapter operates in accordance with its own bylaws, as well as the Inform's bylaws and policies and procedures. According to the Inform's bylaws, all elected chapter officers must be paid members of Inform's, as well as their chapter. This includes the chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. If you need help with your membership, please contact the Inform's Customer Service Department or Community Relations Coordinator. Your chapter bylaws should be listed on your website. If you don't see them, please contact the Inform's Community Relations Coordinator. Bylaws are the governance of the chapter and should be reviewed by all new officers. This is a specific procedure to follow to make any modifications to your existing bylaws. It involves a review and approval by staff, chapters and Fora committee, which is the committee that I work with, and the subdivisions council, which I will represent you as the VP for chapters and Fora. Revisions must be in accordance with the model bylaws. The complete process along with the model bylaws are listed in the officer's guide, which we cover in more detail a bit later. Chapter financial statements are emailed to the officers of your chapter every month. The Inform staff will be happy to help you with any questions or concerns. Each chapter carries a fund balance from year to year and is limited to the balance. In other words, a chapter may not allow their fund balance to run negative. All reimbursements for chapter expenses can be emailed to the Community Relations Coordinator. Please include 2 officers' approvals in the email, your receipts, and your address for a reimbursement check. Please allow approximately 2 weeks for the office to process the payment. If you have any questions as to what is valid expense, please contact the Inform's office. A great go-to interactive resource on specific operations is the Inform's Community Officer Guide. It contains answers to many of the questions that arise pertaining to the operations of a chapter, as well as thoughts and ideas from previous chapter officers. In addition, there is a Community Officers Connect group, which allows for communication to and from officers, staff, Vice Presidents of Informs. Now let's talk about the chapter annual activity report. The report is required by Informs, and it is key to long-term success as it collects key data and information for the staff, Self-Defense Council, and Board of Directors. This report allows Informs to better serve you as officers in the upcoming year. So each December, the Inform staff will send out a reminder through the Officers Connect group for the chapter officers to submit the activity report. You will be asked to submit it through SurveyMonkey. Please be sure to submit your report. Informs is ready to help you. If you need assistance with your chapter, please do not hesitate to reach out to the staff. The email is informs@informs.org. I'd like to remind you that you're on mute, but you can post questions on chat. We will answer them during Q&A. The second part of our webinar will focus on chapter meetings and connecting with your members. We will begin with how to host a chapter meeting. Ask your members what interests them the most for the next meeting and ask them for the best time, location, topic to be included in the agenda. Inform staff can help survey your members through SurveyMonkey to find the popular time or date, location, and even a topic. They can also arrange a Zoom call, just like the one I'm using currently, for officers to discuss the schedule and program options. Officers should plan to meet monthly, either in person or by phone. Use Informs Connect to market and promote your upcoming event, and Eventbrite to monitor registrations. Staff is ready to help you. Informs encourages monthly chapter events. This includes in-person events and webinar style events similar to this one. Consistent communication with the members is key to sustaining an active chapter. Here are some ideas for meeting agenda, such as plant tour, restaurants, visiting local universities. These are just examples. I encourage you to customize it based on your local chapter's interest. Meetings can vary, but here are some suggestions that have served Informs chapters well. Meetings featuring a speaker are often the most popular and professionally rewarding. If you need help securing a speaker, please use the Informs speaker program on our website. This is a wonderful program for you to take advantage of. Joint meetings with other societies such as IISE and SIAM have been very successful. Sometimes joint meetings can be arranged with the local student chapters with the mutual benefits. Several chapters have sponsored successfully plant tours and work sites. Social events are also popular too. For example, a picnic where family members can attend, or less formal mixers to encourage networking opportunities. Local events can be popular too. Look for opportunities to take part as an organization in events that are sponsored by local groups, such as career fairs. I'd like to remind you again that you're on mute, but you can post questions on chat. We will answer them during Q&A. Now, let me spend a few minutes focusing on communicating with your members. As an officer of your chapter, you have the capability of downloading a list of your paid chapter members through our self-service menu. This list is for chapter communication use only, must not be used for any other purpose. Another great communication tool is Informs Connect, as you know. Each chapter has been set up with their own community within Connect. To access your site, you can either click on Communities or choose from the list under All Informs Communities. Here is an example of a chapter page, which is a great way to communicate with your members. You can choose to post a discussion, an announcement, or simply email your members directly, shown here with a red arrow. You can also post documents to the library for member access. I encourage you to utilize your page, which can be customized. Details are listed as to how to edit your page. Please let staff know if you like these links emailed to you. Now, your chapter will always need help, and good volunteers can be hard to find. Sometimes you just need to ask. Your Chapter Connect page would be a great way to include a section for prospective volunteers. Make sure you are specific with your needs. Don't just post a message needing volunteers, but rather volunteers for a specific job. Focus on their benefits, not just your needs, and make signing up easy. And finally, provide different levels of opportunities. Some people have more time than others. Spell out the commitment time also. Thank you so much for joining our chapter offices webinar. Most of what we cover today can be found in the office guide on the Informs Community Offices Connect page or on the Informs website. If you'd like a copy emailed to you, please contact the Community Relations Coordinator. We now have reached the end of our presentation and would like to open up for questions now. Please use the chat tool to ask your question. Thank you.